You worked hard for your money. You saved, you sacrificed, and now you're here, looking at your bank account like a hawk guards its nest. But here's the twist most folks don't see coming. In your golden years, the biggest threat to your happiness isn't inflation. It's invisible spending. Quiet, sneaky expenses that feel normal but drain your joy and your wallet faster than you realize. Take Linda, for example. 74 years old, widowed, 2 grown kids who rarely visit. She wasn't poor by any means, but she wasn't careless either. Still, she couldn't figure out why her savings kept shrinking every month. Then one rainy afternoon, while balancing her checkbook at the kitchen table, she saw it. She was spending nearly $200 a month on subscriptions, magazines, meal kits, streaming platforms she never used, even an old gym membership from when her knees still cooperated. That's when it hit her. She wasn't living badly, but she was spending like she was still 40, and it was costing her more than money. Let's be clear. Retirement isn't about restriction. It's about realignment. You're not depriving yourself. You're giving yourself permission to spend with purpose. So let's walk through 9 things. It's finally time to stop spending on an old age, and why each one might be secretly holding you back. First up, brand new cars. Oh, they're shiny. The leather seats smell like status. But let's get honest. Do you really need a $30,000 vehicle to drive to the grocery store and back twice a week? Depreciation hits cars like a hammer hits glass. The moment you drive it off the lot, it's already worth less. A reliable used car, maybe 5 to 7 years old, can do the job just as well without vacuuming your retirement fund. Then there's the big house. I know, it's filled with memories. You raised kids there, had birthday parties in the backyard, maybe even buried a pet under the tree. But if you're living in a 4-bedroom home and only using one room, you're not just paying for space. You're paying for heating, cooling, cleaning, taxes, and repairs you don't need. Downsizing isn't defeat, it's freedom. It means less to manage and more time for what matters. Now let's talk gifts. I mean the kind you buy out of guilt. A tablet for your grandson's birthday because you missed the last 3. A new phone for your daughter even though she never calls. Listen, generosity is beautiful, but financial guilt isn't. Your value to your family isn't measured in Amazon receipts. Sometimes the best gift you can give is your presence or your wisdom. Save the flashy stuff for moments that truly call for it. Speaking of flashy stuff, fashion, and I say this with love, no one is watching what brand is on your shoes. That expensive handbag doesn't carry any more dignity than the one you found at the outlet. After 65, comfort and confidence are your best accessories. If you haven't worn it in 6 months, or if the price tag makes your eyebrows jump, you probably don't need it. Let's slide into one of the sneakiest culprits. Expensive cable packages. Hundreds of channels and you only watch 3. Maybe 4 if your cousin visits. Meanwhile, streaming services cost a fraction and let you choose what matters. It's time to call that cable company and cut the cord. Imagine what you could do with those extra $80 a month. That's nearly $1,000 a year for something you actually enjoy. Then there's dining out. Not entirely. Treating yourself is part of living. But the routine spending? 3 lunches a week at the same diner, tips piling up, maybe even meals you don't finish? It adds up. Cooking at home isn't just cheaper. It gives you control. Less salt, less sugar, and fewer mystery ingredients that make your doctor frown. Plus, you might discover you actually enjoy it, especially if you invite someone over and make it an occasion. Let's talk tech. The latest phone, the newest tablet, the must-have smartwatch. Most of the time, they come with a learning curve and features you'll never use. Do you really need a device that can control your toaster with an app? Probably not. Stick with what works and skip the upgrades unless your current device is slowing you down or breaking. Now this next one might sting. Hobbies that became money pits. You know what I mean. The craft supplies you never touch. The golf club membership you rarely use. The garden equipment that sits in the shed while weeds win the battle. Hobbies are essential, but they shouldn't drain your joy or your budget. If it's no longer fulfilling, or if you're doing it just because you once did, give yourself permission to let it go. Finally, and maybe most importantly, is paying for help you don't need yet. There's this trend of preparing for decline before it shows up. Prepaying for home care, installing stair lifts before your knees give out, or hiring lawn services when you still enjoy the fresh air. Planning is smart, but panicking is expensive. Assess what you truly need now, not what you fear might happen in 10 years. You can always adjust later. Here's the beautiful irony. Cutting these expenses isn't about being stingy. It's about being smart. Every dollar you stop spending on something that doesn't serve you becomes a dollar you can invest in something that does. Travel, experiences, your health, your relationships, your peace of mind. Linda? She canceled half her subscriptions, sold her car for a modest used hybrid, and downsized to a cozy 2-bedroom condo. Her bills shrank, but her life expanded. She now hosts a weekly dinner with friends, takes dance classes, and even started painting again. Her money wasn't holding her back. Her habits were. So now I'll ask you, what small leak is quietly sinking your ship? What habit, purchase, or subscription have you held on to not because you love it, but because it's just always been there? These aren't just expenses. They're choices, and you're allowed to make new ones. Imagine standing in your kitchen, sipping coffee from your favorite chipped mug, and realizing, wait a minute, I haven't truly needed most of the things I spend money on. Not in years. That quiet moment of awareness is where everything starts to shift. Let's keep going. There are still a few more everyday money drains that feel normal, but hit especially hard in retirement. Let's start with insurance. More specifically, the types you no longer need. If you've paid off your mortgage, why are you still clinging to mortgage insurance? If your kids are grown and financially stable, do you still need that giant life insurance policy? And if you're not driving much anymore, it might be time to review your auto insurance too. Many folks in their 70s are still on the same plan they signed up for 20 years ago, not realizing they're overpaying for coverage they barely use. Insurance is essential, yes, but only the right kind, at the right level, not the kind that keeps padding the provider's pockets. Next up is one you might not expect: extended warranties. Oh, the sweet sales pitch of protection. You buy a blender, they offer a warranty. You buy a toaster, same thing. Before you know it, you've got a drawer full of paperwork for things that were only $50 to begin with. Truth is, most extended warranties aren't used. And the few that are, often come with fine print thicker than a soup stew. If something's inexpensive enough to replace, don't waste extra money trying to insure it. Now let's head to the medicine cabinet. Vitamins, supplements, herbal teas, powders, magic pills claiming to turn back time. Walk into any pharmacy and you'll see aisles filled with promises. But not all of them are necessary, and many aren't even backed by good science. Your doctor might have recommended vitamin D or B12. That's fine. But those 5 other bottles? The ones you bought after a midnight TV commercial? Time to reevaluate. Save your money for actual health care, not wishful thinking in capsule form. And here's one that feels personal for many: holiday splurges. You want to make the moment magical. You want the house decorated, the table overflowing, the grandkids beaming as they unwrap piles of gifts. But sometimes the joy gets lost under the mountain of receipts. The pressure to perform becomes the enemy of peace. A meaningful Christmas isn't about quantity, it's about quality. A thoughtful letter, a shared memory, a favorite recipe passed down. Those are the gifts they'll talk about long after the shiny gadgets break or get forgotten. Another trap? Keeping up with others. Yes, even in your 70s, peer pressure is real. The neighbor renovates her kitchen, and suddenly you feel your tile looks dated. A friend moves into a luxury senior community, and now your condo feels small. Don't let comparison turn into compulsion. You're not living their life. You're living yours. And if you're doing it right, that's more than enough. Let's talk health fads. You've seen them. Juicing cleanses, detox plans, a 30-day meal box for $600 that guarantees to reset your gut and possibly your personality. Look, taking care of your body is smart, but any plan that costs more than your monthly grocery budget and doesn't come with doctor approval is a red flag. You don't need gimmicks. You need balance, movement, hydration, and food that actually tastes good. Here's one that sounds harmless, but can quietly drain your soul. Donations out of guilt. That letter in the mail with a sad puppy on the front. The phone call asking if you'll support a cause, even if you've never heard of it. Or worse, scams pretending to be charities. Giving is beautiful. Giving out of fear or pressure is not. Pick a few causes that matter deeply to you and give joyfully. The rest? Don't let them pull your heartstrings and your purse strings at the same time. Now brace yourself, because this one's tricky. Helping adult children, financially. It's a dance so many seniors find themselves stuck in. One child needs help with rent. Another wants to start a business. You love them. Of course you do. But if their emergencies become your routine, your future might be the one in danger. You raised them. You gave them wings. But it's okay to say, I love you, and I need to protect my stability now. You can't pour from an empty cup, especially not at 75. Finally, let's address boredom spending. That little trip to the store just to look around. The online shopping habit that starts after the second episode of your favorite crime show. Before you know it, there's a box on your porch and a charge on your card, and you don't even remember what you ordered. It's not about the object. It's about filling a space. Loneliness. Routine. Curiosity. But your time, your energy, your attention, those are all more precious than stuff. The solution isn't shopping. It's connection. It's purpose. It's curiosity pointed in the right direction. Let's loop back for a second. The story here isn't just about saving money. It's about reclaiming power. Every expense you cut becomes a little more freedom, a little more peace, a little more clarity. Whether it's saying no to another extended warranty, canceling a subscription, or downsizing your life, what you're really doing is making space. Space for joy, space for laughter, space to breathe. That's what Linda learned. Now at 75, she takes yoga classes at the rec center, volunteers at the library twice a week, and plans a train trip across the country next spring. Her life isn't smaller because she spends less. It's bigger because she spends on what matters. If you've made it this far, maybe you've seen yourself in these examples. Maybe one of those things hit a little too close. That's not a bad thing. That's a beginning. Start small. Choose one area. Cut what doesn't serve you. You've got nothing to prove, but you've got so much still to gain. And if this video helped shift your perspective even a little, stick around. We're just getting started. Hit that subscribe button and tell us in the comments, what's one thing you stopped spending money on that changed everything? You never know. Your answer might be the one that saves someone else from making the same mistake.